Well, hello, everybody. I am attorney Michael Eline, and I am a lawyer licensed in California and Texas. So I've been in the process of moving this weekend, and you may notice there's a little bit of more of a background, kind of a echoey kind of noise. I'll work on that over the next couple of days. I just think it's because I've got hardwood floors in this office. So anyways, I don't really have a whole lot of time to hang out with you guys. Hey, how's it going, Kurt? I actually was creating this live, hoping maybe somebody might show up, but it was more because I'm trying to create some good content because I'm going to be doing a slideshow for some retired cops and some of my buddies who just got out of the Marines who are thinking about joining the sheriffs. And I'm like, dude, like they really believe that the whole thin line, the thin blue line stuff. And so I wanted to do this cool video and maybe even get some right. Exactly. What's the matter you? How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining me. Anyways, I have some pretty cool clips about throwdowns. And this is a really big deal because, you know, when we were growing up, at least guys my age, we watched One Adam 12 and Chips and, you know, Punch and John. And we just thought that you could trust the government. And then, you know, I found out after my dad had passed away that the Gulf of Tonkin thing was a lie. Like we should have never even been in the Vietnam War. And my dad died from Agent Orange. And I even joined the Marines because I wanted to be like my dad. And so, you know, men kind of get weird when they find out they've been lied to all their lives. Give me a bunch of ones if you're upset about being lied to all your life by your government too. And unfortunately, the administrative state, because they control the education system, they brainwash whole generations of young kids into believing that anything a politician says is true. And I think that because of Chile de Castro and what happened to him, it gave me an opportunity to revisit the way I'm going to handle my law practice. Yeah, I'm still going to do personal injury and support my family that way. But if I make extra money, it'll allow me to be able to do my political activism, which is really important to me. And so I'm hoping, and I really appreciate all you guys joining me. So I'm going to go ahead and kick off the show really quick, and then we'll get into it. All right. To another edition of Ask Michael Eline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. That's right. We never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. So guys, make sure to save too, because that save thing, the algo really likes that. So anyways, to kick off the show, I laid a little bit of a foundation, but a lot of people believe that law enforcement and the police, they can do no wrong. And I've been teaching you guys for a long time now that we need to develop our own parallel systems. Chile has his idea that he can become governor and make change that way. And I believe that that is a terrific idea. But I also believe that if we develop parallel systems the same way that Martin Luther King did, we can basically take BlackRock and all of these immoral Luciferian companies and put them out of business. Because if you stop doing business with your enemy goes broke. Give me a bunch of ones if you understand that concept. So, hey, wasn't matter you? Yeah, the bloody thought police. That's right, the thought police. And so that's the problem. You know, we have our modern administrative state, especially academia, the woke academics, trying to characterize anything they disagree with as hate speech, and that they're using that as the end run to abolish the First Amendment. We know that the false religion of wokeism does not believe in natural rights or natural law. They believe in what their masters at the World Economic Forum tell them to believe, and that is that there are no human rights. We all should just be chipped and go along with the program. And that's basically what's going on right now. And we see that originally we opened up our doors to China to try and normalize relationships with them and bring freedom to them. But what ended up really happening is China ended up bringing communism to us and our institutions. And our law enforcement agencies, to be honest with you, from friends I have who have worked in law enforcement, are actually jealous of the communist Chinese because, of course, without a Bill of Rights, it's a lot easier to make arrests and get convictions. But let's go ahead and see an example of what I'm talking about what's happening when you have an uneducated society, when you have a society, a leviathan, an administrative state, where your examples of all your politicians and your leaders are dishonest people, and they're the only ones who are getting ahead. And of course, if you don't have a moral compass yourself, just watch this and let's go along and see what happens. I'll try to stay on as long as I can today, guys. I've been moving all day, so I'm absolutely wiped out. Here we go.
So they one time. Oh well.
Ma'am, is this car registered and released in your name? Is it leased in your name?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Whose phone is this? Is this yours?
Yeah, it should be 2 phones. Yeah.
One on the driver's seat.
Okay.
Oh. No, I know.
Wearing their shirts.
Let me do the back of this. You do the trunk key
Yeah.
on the spare tire? Yep. Is your license in here?
I mean, and look at the way she's just rolling over for these guys. I mean, she probably even gave them permission to search her car. This is another reason why the government wants uneducated people. Like, they want you as dumb as possible. They want you to go to a public school and just be totally brainwashed, vote for the single party candidate, get that welfare check, go along with the program. But here's what ends up happening when you go along with the program. Let's keep watching. Nice knockoff wallet, by the way. Thanks, Annie. You too.
Anybody on here?
Yeah.
I
just turned on. You're not supposed to. Did anybody check this compartment here yet? Oh, here you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I knew it. I thought they were freaking out.
That's the weed smell right there,
That's
too.
why they were freaking out.
Oh, these are like little fives.
Yeah.
She had a Maxim 5 weed and a pocket. Jacket pocket.
These little small bags, and here's some there.
Hey, I'm gonna go hot just for this recovery and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've been off because I wasn't obviously hiding. So.
Somebody give Sergeant.
Hey, we're good.
And so, you know, a lot of people believe that police don't have quotas anymore. They used to have a quota they have to meet, you know, in order to keep their job. They don't do that anymore. They just change the name. Now they call it a bonus, but it's the same thing. And the only way you can really get a promotion in law enforcement is basically based on how much revenue you collect, for lack of a better word. The more callers you make, the more arrests coupled with convictions. Those are the guys that get the promotions. And, you know, a lot of them end up getting jobs. They end up getting law degrees and becoming prosecutors and then judges and then getting into politics. Kind of like Camel Toe Harris, right? Remember, she locked up lots of black people, made sure for marijuana offenses, and then laughed about the fact that she even broke marijuana laws, but didn't jail herself. And that's the point that I was making about the administrative state. What's good is for thee, but not for me, right? That's how they work. Here we go.
I'm gonna kill you. Had me all nervous.
You want to call them, make sure they know that. They go for 62. Keep looking over there.
Yeah, reach up under their feet, man. I'm still on, by the way. Are you still on?
Yep.
Okay.
That explains him being on his side.
That's definitely the bag. Because when he opened it, I saw green, and I was like, I kind of thought, if it's big enough for me to see, it must be weed.
That was gonna be weed.
Yeah.
Nothing else on the
Good
You
job.
smell
So
it.
I think I inadvertently took credit for being an idiot.
I think that's everything. Pretty well got everything.
There it is. So basically, what you're witnessing is these dumbasses film their own guy planting drugs in this car.
Did anybody check this?
I got some better ones to show you. There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I knew it. That's why they were freaking out.
That's the weed smell right there.
That's
too.
why they were
There
freaking
you
out.
Oh, these are little fives.
Yeah.
She had a matching 5 ring pocket. Jack 5.
These little small bags. And here's the food.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go hot just for this recovery and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been off because I've been obviously high.
I'm in awe. I deprived somebody of their marijuana.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, right? Hit that like and subscribe button. How's it going, Terry?
Chill you. Got me all nervous.
Oh man,
You
oh
want to call
man.
them, make sure they know
I'm
that.
gonna call Sarge right now. I'm gonna go 1062.
Keep looking under there.
Hey, who knows what 1062
I'm
means?
still
Give me
on,
some.
by the way.
Yeah, me
Are
too.
you still on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like and subscribe button. Okay, so just a little back end. This is the body cam footage. I actually have another video where they do the breakdown of this, but basically these officers, or one of the officers, is accused of dropping some drugs in this lady's car. These are beat cops. They kind of know who the people are in the area who are accused of crimes. And sometimes they just get pissed off when they can't get a bust. And a lot of bad cops will resort to planting a weapon or drugs in people's cars. And this is just one of those examples where they got the body cam and they were actually dumb enough to film part of it. And so what's the matter, you and complying Borg? Thanks a lot for showing up. I appreciate it. So I have this other cool video where there's a female cop who's doing the same kind of craziness. But it's always kind of more sexy when you see the females doing it, right? Especially when they're hot. So let's go ahead. Give me a bunch of ones if you'd rather see a hot female cop plant drugs on someone than some jerk, typical cop with a mustache. Give me some ones about, if you want to see a bunch of male cops with mustaches plant drugs, give me a bunch of 2s for that. But if you want female cops gone wild, give me a bunch of 1s. Sorry, guys, I can't help myself sometimes.
Number 1, NYPD duo caught running a drug planting scheme. In Staten Island, New York, 2 police officers named Kyle Erickson and Elmer Pastrana found themselves in a bit of a run-in with the law when it was discovered that they had planted marijuana on 2 separate occasions.
Well, at least
after
I know my
pulling over
audience
cars
is
for
all
minor
straight.
traffic violations. Their scheme involved stopping vehicles and claiming that the vehicles smelled like weed. The first incident that brought Erickson
Hey,
and
Chevy.
Pastrana's conduct to public attention happened in February 2018 for a marijuana possession case involving a man named Lasu Kuyate. During the trial, Erickson testified under oath that he found a marijuana cigarette on the backseat floor of Kuyate's car. However, this testimony was contradicted by body camera footage.
All right, this was in the back seat on the floor. It's a marijuana cigarette. It's lit. Just had to put it out.
When the video footage of the search was reviewed, it showed no sign of marijuana on the car's rear floor a number of times. In fact, it even captured Erickson telling Pastrana.
We had a fine. You know what I mean?
Right after these words, the officer's camera mysteriously went off. When the camera came back on after 4 minutes, Erickson was seen picking up a marijuana cigarette and announcing his alleged discovery in the back of the car, despite his partner's earlier statement that he didn't see anything there. As a result of this incident, Kuyate ended up spending 2 weeks in jail before being released on bail. He decided to sue the city after his charges were dropped.
Hey, didn't something like that just recently happen to Chile de Castro? I mean, didn't he kind of have a similar kind of thing happen to him? I'm kind of messing around with my camera here, trying to make it look cool. No, but seriously, I mean, you see false arrests happen all the time. And that's why I keep on telling you guys, we need to start thinking about developing parallel systems, not just electing Chile de Castro for governor, but moving to an area where we have a shot at having a normal life like we had before the globalists and BlackRock started destroying our country. Kind of like what the Amish have. Why not develop your own parallel system? I mean, what's preventing all you guys in the sidebar right now from forming your own parallel system and doing commerce with each other? What's preventing the ones who really care about each other and have really similar interests from moving to a town in Montana somewhere where you can elect a sheriff who will uphold the Constitution the way that you believe the Constitution should be upheld? You know, have your own Shire of the Reef. You know, having a parallel system enables you to pursue the American dream before the banksters destroyed it at Jekyll Island. Give me a bunch of ones if you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people follow me because they know I'm not just a lawyer. They know that I want to make this world a better place, and that being a lawyer is basically, you kind of have to be a lawyer just to survive in the legalistic system that the banksters have created for us. And let's go ahead and keep watching. But this is what happened to Chile. He was falsely accused, falsely arrested, falsely imprisoned over a misdemeanor. Marijuana charges for this guy over a false arrest. Even there, it's fake. I mean, marijuana is legal now in most states, but in the states that it's not, the cops know it's easy to get your hands on. Keep it in your cruiser, throw it down. You got a bust, you got a promotion, you got a bonus, right? Think about it.
And he was awarded a settlement of $326,000. But Erickson and Pastrana didn't stop there, as there was no accountability for these rogue cops. Less than 2 weeks after Kuyate's arrest in March 2018, they pulled over another car and claimed to find marijuana and even cocaine. The man they arrested this time was Jason Serrano, who was sitting in the passenger seat of his friend's car. The officers claimed the car had a broken taillight, but as soon as the driver rolled down the window, Erickson and Pastrana declared that they smelled.
And by the way, the name of the movie is Female Cops Planning Drugs. And I know there is a female cop doing it in here, but obviously you can tell that whoever made this video knew, like, every dude in town that's got half a brain is going to want to see it. Why? Because it's a female cop. Come on, think about it. But either way, there's great material in here, so let's keep watching.
Weed and ordered both occupants out of the car.
The car smells like marijuana, so we're going to check
course.
it. All right? There's nothing in the car. You'll be good to go. All right?
The body camera footage of this incident revealed a troubling sequence of events. Serrano, who was recovering from abdominal surgery after being stabbed, showed his wound to Erickson while explaining that he could barely move.
I don't want to see that right now. Okay.
So really quick, so Plead the Fifth asks a question that a lot of people are asking because they're just terrified of how the Democrats are going to deal with the Second Amendment, but they're equally terrified about how is Trump going to deal with the cops, because Trump says he's going to give more power to the police. And Plead the Fifth says, my guess is more citizens will leave to reside in another country where there's no freedom. Well, look, I got no argument with you there. My family's from El Salvador, and I was really not happy when I heard Trump trashing El Salvador, because a lot of people don't know that the CIA and the FBI created all those Salvadorian gangs in the 80s. Those were a creation of our government. They created all of those gangs, all of them. That's a result of the Civil War that they funded and that they created. And I was not happy when Trump was trashing Bukele, because I go to El Salvador sometimes 2-3 times a year. And if you could see, because I know the people down there, the way they've changed since all those gang members were locked up into that max prison, people they're no longer terrified anymore. Now, yes, I agree with you that it could be used, it could be turned around and become a bad thing. The pendulum could swing, and Bukele could use that to lock up his political prisoners. But no, plead the fifth. I've got a lot of problems with Trump too, and I think that a lot of people do. I just happen to support a lot of what he does. I think having a secure border is super important, especially now when you can smuggle in weapons of mass destruction, and we know that these jihadis want to kill us, and we know that we've been funding a war against Russia, and China is their ally, and they could flood in people across our border to do us harm. I think it's very dangerous to have this wide open border just so you can try and win elections by manipulating the census, which is the real reason they're doing it. I think that's terrible. But I tend to agree with you, plead the fifth. It's, we're never going to have total liberty, because you're always going to have Luciferians and people. So there's two types of people in this world, really, when it gets down to it. There's people who want to be controlled and those who don't. And unfortunately, most people do want to be told what to do. 99% of the people in this world need to be told what to do. There is a leadership vacuum in this country right now, in this world, a lack of strong male leadership in families. And so people are looking for leadership, and all they're finding is Luciferian craziness and the blue-haired mafia at their schools, and they don't have anything. So naturally, we have confused people. But luckily for us, we have each other, and we have my sidebar. Now, Maddox, it says, how do you hate on the police? Well, Maddox, I don't hate on the police, actually. I support peace officers, and I support the Shire of the Reef, the concept of a duly elected sheriff elected by the local citizenry. And that's why I say, if you really want to change society, you start by developing parallel systems. You should have your own parallel systems where you engage and live in areas where around like-minded people. And then you can elect your own Shire of the Reef, and then you can open carry, and you can defend your families and not worry about getting arrested when some scumbag that Gavin Newsom created out of thin air with your tax dollars tries to break into your house and attack you or your family. So I don't hate on them. On the contrary, I support a constitutional republic, where the rights of the individual matter more than the rights of the mob, than the rights of the ones who spend the most money at Target. And unfortunately, that appears to be what we have today. And then you see that the police forces are just sort of a microcosm of the politicians, and they're a bunch of scumbags too. So that's their bosses. So if you want to see what the politicians are doing, let's look at what their employees do. Let's keep watching.
Then the officers demanded to search Serrano's jacket, which he refused, insisting there was nothing incriminating inside. The officers quickly became aggressive, pushing the wounded to the ground and handcuffing him as he groaned in pain. As Serrano lay bleeding on the sidewalk, more officers and bystanders gathered, waiting for an ambulance. Meanwhile, Pastrana searched Serrano's jacket, and Erickson meticulously searched the car. Erickson could be heard saying his notorious line,
Yeah, we gotta find something.
Erickson used a flashlight to search around the front seat but found nothing. He grew frustrated and returned to Pastrana to suggest searching the entire car. Erickson returned to the front seat area, dropping a larger bud in the drink holder and declaring,
Look at that. Boom. He just dropped it right there. See
A
that?
little bit of weed.
Wait a
he
minute.
opened a
Did you guys see that? Wait, we got to go back to that. Hold on. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys just saw that. This dude took like a little bud of marijuana, like looked like some good indica bud, right? And dropped that sucker in there. And he was even kind of curling it up. You know, he probably was doing the whole, oh, skunky, right? He probably smokes that after work, right? Give me a bunch of ones if you think those cops smoke weed and do all the blow that they confiscate after work with strippers, and that they never get in trouble for it because their bosses are probably doing it too. And their boss's boss, the politician, was probably snorting coke off a toddler's belly at Epstein Island. Give me a bunch of ones if you understand what I'm saying, that they're only following the lead of their leadership. And that's why Thomas Aquinas made it very clear that we should only elect representatives or have appointed officials who know the law and mean to keep it well, moral and righteous people. Why on earth would you want to elect somebody who's an immoral and unrighteous person? I don't want to be in politics. I know that I don't have even that moral character to be a good leader. I want somebody who's better than even me. And that's how you guys should be thinking. Why on earth would you want to elect one of these nutcases that they have in charge of our political government agencies right now, let alone elect one? Why would you even let somebody like these nutcases that they're putting in charge of like our Surgeon General? Craziness. They're putting like literally mentally ill people in charge of the Surgeon General's department. It's insane what's going on. Yeah, right. Plead the fifth. They probably snort with their snorts with their snorts at party, right? I mean, you know what's going on. Let's keep on watching. I'm still looking for the female, guys. Hopefully we'll see her soon.
The drink holder and declaring.
Watch this. Planting the drugs. Oh, look at that. Yeah, make sure
He opened a wallet and searched areas he had already looked at. Later on, Erickson fiddled through Serrano's jacket again as Pastrana approached him.
Yeah, no, he had weed. You could see his weed here.
Throughout this process, Serrano was about to be taken away on a stretcher. Erickson asked Pastrana if he was good, and both officers fist bumped each other at the end of their scheme. Interestingly, the few words exchanged between Erickson and Pastrana during Serrano's arrest mirrored their conversation during Cuyate's arrest. At the time, Serrano was charged with drug possession, resisting arrest, and obstructing governmental administration. Months later, in a court decision in 2021, a Staten Island judge overturned Serrano's conviction after reviewing the body camera footage and the disciplinary records of the two officers. Those records revealed that Erickson had been disciplined by the NYPD in 2 separate incidents earlier that same year for invoice discrepancies related to drug seizures. Judge Tomiko Amaker noted that in normal circumstances, because of his guilty plea, Serrano would be unable to vacate his conviction. However, this court finds that the body-worn camera footage taken with the officer's disciplinary files demonstrate that the defendant may have been searched and seized in violation of his constitution.
So just follow that really quick. So the prosecutor forced this dude to enter into a plea bargain that even if he filed a motion based on new evidence, like a writ of coram nobis or something later, based on what they just said in that state, it wouldn't have mattered. He just got lucky that he got a badass judge who actually wanted to do justice. And obviously the optics aren't too good here, guys. I mean, you wonder why black people hate cops, right? Like, really? I mean, the optics are not good here. You got 2 white guys and they're fist bumping each other, looking for a reason to bust this dude. And he's just, he's just a cool dude, man. He's just being who he is. Maybe they don't like the way he's dressed. Maybe they don't like his attitude because he won't kiss their ass. But ultimately, that's what he ended up with. And if he hadn't gotten that judge, look, he's not Chili DeCastro. He doesn't have, probably a YouTube channel that can help him do a GoFundMe. He doesn't have anybody. And so that's one of the cool things that I always liked about Chili is that he'll fund cases like that. He'll literally find someone like that guy and drive to their state on his own dime or with help from his viewers and raise money to help people like that. But just imagine how many people out there that don't have that. I mean, look at how much it cost Chili just to win one misdemeanor, like upwards of 100,000, probably more by the time this is all over with, just for one, like a misdemeanor case. That's insane. Plus not being able to work or pay your bills. And obviously this dude, he's not able to work either. This dude that got pulled over and falsely arrested. I mean, that could be your son. That could be your daughter. I mean, you could have an interracial marriage, that you could be a white dude with a mixed son like that. And, you fell in love with a woman who's a different color than you or vice versa. And now your son's getting abused like that. How would you feel? Think about that. Just watch this. This is ridiculous.
Constitutional rights. Amaker wrote as she granted the motion to vacate Serrano's conviction. The NYPD has not yet responded to requests for comment about the status of the 2 officers on the force. Pastrana is listed in the department's personnel database as being on military or extended leave. Erickson's name, however, does not appear in the database. If you think this story was wild, wait till you hear our next one, where a single Florida cop was convicted for dozens of cases of planting drugs and falsifying evidence.
Yeah.
Number 2. Florida
all the
cop
time,
caught
guys.
planting drugs
All the time.
by his own body cam. A Florida sheriff's deputy named Zachary Wester was caught red-handed for planting drugs and was found guilty of various charges, including racketeering, fabricating evidence, official misconduct, false information.
Oh yeah, so I see some stuff in the sidebar here about the racism thing. Look, me personally, I'm an equal opportunity hater. As a general rule, I don't really like people unless they prove to me that they're honorable and good people. I really don't care about any of their skin color or any of that other garbage. I was a Marine, and I was willing to sacrifice my life and sacrifice mine for people who look totally different than me based upon how they were here and here. And that is the mentality that most Marines and most honorable men have. The warrior mentality is based that way. So yeah, we're all tribal. We're all gonna, stick up for our families before someone else. But ultimately, we see it happening all the time, and it's not just like you say. It's not just minorities, but it's really about going after people who don't have the money to be able to defend themselves and fight that ticket, fight that misdemeanor, where they'd rather just pay the fine or take the slap on the hand, but get the conviction. But that conviction now counts later as a potential prior, which can be used against you, potentially even as a strike in some jurisdictions, depending on if it's a wobbler. There's all these weird ass rules, guys. And so the point that I'm really making is, yeah, minorities do tend to have less money. And yeah, there's definitely racial stuff going on out there. I'm sorry to hear that this one cop, the Italian sounded guy, was like military leave. That always pisses me off when I hear stories about military guys doing shit like that, because you'd think that somebody who served alongside someone who was willing to die for him, who was exactly the other race that he's trying to bust right now, you'd think that he wouldn't sleep well over that. You always have to think about karma, guys. Let's go ahead and keep watching. But yeah, I'm an equal opportunity hater, and I think that cops unfortunately do target minorities more, and in particular the poor white people as well. Here we go.
Imprisonment and possession of controlled substances and paraphernalia. But this wasn't the first time Wester found himself in trouble. He started his career in law enforcement back in 2015 by working as a deputy for the Liberty County Sheriff's Office. He left that job after less than a year due to allegations of sexual misconduct. However, Wester didn't let that stop him. In May 2016, he landed a job at the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, where he quickly gained a reputation as an aggressive patrol deputy with an impressive number of drug arrests under his belt. But as time went on, eyebrows were raised, and in the summer of 2018, prosecutors in Mariana eventually discovered inconsistencies in his police reports and body camera footage. One particular damning video showed him holding a plastic baggie before searching a woman's truck and arresting her for possessing methamphetamine. After an internal investigation, Wester was suspended and later fired from his position. During this time, a thorough search of his patrol car uncovered a stash of ready-to-plant drugs and paraphernalia hidden in the trunk. In 2019, he was finally arrested following an extensive investigation by the Florida Department.
I mean, check that out. So again, I keep telling you guys that these law enforcement guys, especially the new breed, they're all about trying to get that promotion and getting that bonus. It's all about that power, and maybe getting into politics, or, getting on the detail where you're going to the baseball games and doing the football game, the football league, football guard, security detail. So it's always about trying to get that cushy promotion. And so it's, you got a bunch of drugs you can plant. Hey, I made all these busts, throw down weapons, you confiscate an illegal firearm that was used in a bust. And then you take that and you use it, in another bust, and you just keep doing that. Steal it from the evidence room, or just steal it from a guy in the street and let him go so you have it. But yeah, they've got it, and they know every trick in the book. And we've seen stories, the Clint Eastwood movies. There was one really good movie where I think it was like Al Pacino or something, where he played a undercover dude, Serpico or something. It was a badass movie, man, where he took down all these corrupt cops. And, guys like that in the real police force are looked at as snitches, right? Because we know that the police have basically copied the prison mentality. They're even wearing the sleeves now. And so it's becoming more and more like us against them kind of a thing. They're their own gang now, basically. So, and then here's an example of what happens when you make the police into their own gang instead of having them stand tall for the Constitution.
Of law enforcement. As a result of his crimes, Nearly 120 cases involving Wester had to be dropped by prosecutors. The modus operandi for Wester was disturbingly consistent. He would initiate traffic stops for minor infractions and then use the pretext of smelling marijuana to search the victim's vehicle.
Always.
He would then pretend to find drugs such as meth or marijuana, leading innocent people to end up in jail on bogus charges. The consequences for these victims were devastating as their lives crumbled due to false accusations. One such victim, Stephen Van, a former felon who had recently been released from jail when he was pulled over by Wester. Van allowed the officer to search his vehicle, believing he had nothing to hide. But to his surprise, Wester discovered methamphetamine in his car.
Okay, all right. Honesty's gonna go a long way with me, okay, man?
Yeah.
All right. I've got to test this. Have you ever seen this before?
No.
All right, so here's what we got right now. So this cop already knew when he pulled him over that he's got priors for a felon. So he knows he's got an easy bust. So all he's got to do is plant some drugs in his car. That's why I always tell you guys, always film the police. By the way, hi, hey, BZ Watchdog, good seeing you, buddy. BZ Watchdog just joined us. We got Let's OTVO in the sidebar joining us again, back and forth. Plead the Fifth always has amazing comments. Now, the only thing I could say about that Plead the Fifth is that the federal government, government has no power over state police or local municipalities. So Trump has no say in what a state governor or sheriff does when it comes to qualified immunity. So I would think that Chili's idea of running for governor and trying to change it that way, either legislatively or by getting some really good state judges in there, to change that, to overturn Terry versus Ohio. So I'm not going to worry about it too much, Plead the Fifth, just because of the concept of federalism and the 9th and 10th Amendments. I think that we're on pretty steady ground. I mean, honestly, I think we need to seal that southern border and figure out who the hell is in our country and start deporting people who shouldn't be here. And I think we should be more worried about our national security, to be honest. But, that's a conversation for another day. Let's watch what happened to this guy who was clearly innocent.
After Wester was done performing the tests on the discovered drugs in Van's car, he came to talk to the poor man again and subsequently arrested him.
All right, look, man. It did field test presumptive positive for methamphetamine. Okay? Let me ask you this. If I read you your rights, will you talk to me?
But the damning evidence against Wester came from his own body camera footage. And this truly came to the fore in the case of Teresa Odom. Like all of his victims, Wester pulled over Odom for a routine traffic stop. In the beginning, the officer came off as a bit friendly with Odom, even joking with her a little bit. He then asked her to step out of the car.
Now, when I was in my 20s, when I lived in Huntington Beach, it was well known that the Huntington Beach police would only hire guys with degrees in like psychology. And so the idea is the minute they open their mouth and start talking to you, they're investigating you. They're trying to come up with something to arrest you for. That's their job. That is their job, to make an arrest. So knowing that, you should never, ever, ever talk to them. So how do you deal with them without pissing them off? Officer, I want to help you, but I really want to talk to my lawyer first. He told me that I can never talk to police unless he's present. And I have to do that because I promised him I would. Just handle it that way. You don't have to be a jerk. You can just be honest with them. Officer, I want to help you, but my lawyer said that he needs to be here first. Would you like me to get him on the phone? Maybe we can get him on the phone and get this worked out, because I want to help you, sir. I really do. I really want to help you investigate me and throw me in prison, put me in torture cuffs, take away all my money and lock me up. Yeah, I really want to help you do that, sir. Here, let me help you. Can I bend over while you put the torture cuffs on me and put them on so tight that maybe I might have to get my arms or hands amputated? Thank you so much, officer. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, congratulations on getting fired at your last job for beating that old woman. I'm so glad our department hired you. You're amazing. Let's watch some more.
Performance checks, to which she complied, saying she had nothing to hide. As she walked away from the vehicle, the deputy prepared to search it. Wester began putting on his gloves, and for a brief moment, a small bag was visible in his left hand. Prosecutors believe this was the bag Wester planted and claimed to have.
Okay, so there you go. You can see it right there with your own eyes on his own freaking body cam. That's how dumb some of these guys are. I mean, he's literally, we already saw another, like couple more where they were doing the same thing. I mean, these dudes are giddy. They're so excited about violating people's rights. They're so, it's like almost like they're getting turned on. Like it's almost like a fetish, right? Like they need to wear heels and dresses or something, right? Like some kind of weird fetish, like they're power confusion, maybe. Let's call it power confusion. Let's keep watching. Let's watch this power confused officer plant more drugs.
Found next to a spoon in the car. Despite his denial of planting any illegal substances, the evidence strongly pointed in the other direction. To get back at the system for the harm caused by Wester,
Thanks,
the
Jeff.
victims came together and reached a nearly $1 million federal court settlement. Over 30 victims who were arrested by Wester and later filed a suit agreed to the settlement, which was finalized in October 2022 in the U.S. District Court in Pensacola. The settlement conference was presided over by U.S. Magistrate Judges Hope Cannon and Michael Frank. The amount awarded to each plaintiff varied depending on the damages they suffered, ranging from just under $20,000 to more than $70,000. Among the victims, Benjamin Bowling faced the tragic consequences of losing custody of his daughter due to Wester's arrest.
All right. So you saw that, right? This guy lost his daughter. He lost custody of his daughter because he got locked up. No amount of money is ever going to make that right. And yeah, he might be able to get that whole thing unwound in the divorce court or the family law court. But some dude who just lost his wife, let alone his daughter, you think he's got any money? Do you know how devastating it is for a man to lose his wife and daughter? Who really, give me a freaking break. There's no way. So this guy's life was totally destroyed. And we saw the same thing happen to Chile. I mean, the only reason Chile was able to survive this is because people like Letzo TVO, BZ Watchdog, and Dan Glick and Brick Jonesy were there for him emotionally, not just financially, but emotionally, letting him know that people care about him and they were supporting him. And then guys like Here's the Deal, Brian from Here's the Deal, helping him keep his channel alive. I mean, could you imagine if his channel had just languished for 4 months? I mean, he would have gone bankrupt. So it's not just the 4 months that you're locked up. It's your business. It's everything. You're paying rent, your car payment. Yeah, I'm telling you as a lawyer, guys, like I have seen people get locked up for 3 weeks and saw it destroy their businesses, force them into bankruptcy, just 3 weeks of not being able to run your business. That is the margins, especially businesses in California with Newsom constantly passing draconian laws that destroy the ability for you to even have any kind of a profit. It's getting out of control. And so when you get locked up, it's a big, big deal. And a misdemeanor or an infraction, it's like, well, it's only 6 months. Yeah, maybe I can handle 6 months. Maybe I'll only get a month. Maybe I can plea bargain it. Yeah, but it's still on your record. Keep watching this, guys. I want you to see this is more common than you think. It really is.
Plaintiffs like Bowling received the highest amounts in the settlement. The sheriff's office and the Florida Sheriff's Risk Management Fund will cover the settlement. Meanwhile, Wester himself is currently serving a 12.5-year prison sentence for his despicable actions. If you want to keep up with the latest updates and news on these cases, then please subscribe to the channel.
All right, so we got that one down. Now this other one's pretty cool. So basically I'm trying to show you the theme. So the Judges Gone Wild theme was kind of showing you these corrupt judges, how they sort of treat like the staff, and they treat jurors, and they treat people who are accused of crimes like dog shit, and nothing happens to them. They violate their rights, throw them in jail illegally, and nothing happens to them. They get maybe a slap on the hand. Now, you see, the cops actually do get in trouble more than the judges and the politicians, because they've got more political cover, more money, basically, more power. And they use the police as their pawns. So in a way, you kind of want to feel bad for the cops, but it's like they should know better in a way, right? I mean, they're working for dishonest, immoral people. So what did they expect? Did they think that when they enforced those immoral and unjust laws, and then there was a riot because they hurt someone as a result of enforcing the unjust law, that the unjust and cruel and lying politician wasn't going to throw the chief of police under the bus, wasn't going to throw the police officers did they really think they weren't going to get thrown under the bus? Really? Give me a break, man. That's just not the reality. If you're in an evil and corrupt system, evil and corruption is going to be what prevails. Give me a bunch of ones if you know what I'm talking about. Now, let me so we got the female druggie one. Now this is a good one. Check this one out. This has to do with a deputy who was arrested in a scheme to plant drugs. So this is actually one of the better ones that I've got for you guys.
At 5, a Lee County deputy was fired and arrested alongside 2 others accused of helping plant drugs in someone's car.
Deputy Nico Irizarry is accused of helping these two, Charles Custodio and Scott Snyder, in a scheme to get a realtor arrested. NBC2's Claire Lavazorio is live at the sheriff's office tonight. Claire, this was a cross-country, pretty elaborate scheme.
That's right, Peter. Deputies had to travel all the way to Texas to arrest one of the men involved in this elaborate scheme. But let's take you here to Lee County with what we know. Nico Irizarry was a deputy here at the Lee County Sheriff's Office, and the sheriff said he had no problems with him in the time that he was here. But today, not only is he stripped of his title, he's also behind bars facing a felony charge for conspiracy. Now, the sheriff walked us through this elaborate crime, so bear with me as we explain how we got here today. On December 16th, Deputy Irizarry arrested someone for trafficking narcotics. That was during a traffic stop. But in January, the Internal Affairs Division received information that something was fishy about that arrest. So Sheriff Carmine Marcino started an investigation, and that investigation uncovered a conspiracy to plant drugs in a car and arrange a traffic stop once they were planted. The sheriff says the first suspect, named Charles Custodio, didn't like the driver who was originally arrested in that traffic stop. So he hired suspect number 2, whose name is Scott Snyder. Snyder posed as someone looking for homes to have an excuse to get inside the victim's car. Then the victim is a realtor, mind you. So that's how he was able to get in the car and plant the drugs. Once those drugs were planted, Custodio called the deputy to.
Now, just imagine this. So here's something that I've heard from some whistleblowers who I've interviewed who used to work for the FBI. This is something that happens with luggage. This happens with luggage, guys. So if they want you bad enough, all they got to do is plant like a little blow or a little bit of marijuana in your luggage, and you're done. So I just want you guys to keep in mind, like, it's getting dangerous, guys. It's getting real dangerous. Like, I don't even think you should use travel using regular travel. I mean, if you're on their watch list, in other words, if you purchased a Bible, if you shopped at Cabela's or Dick's Sporting Goods, or if you support legal immigration, we know that as of March 4th, you're on the FBI's watch list as a potential domestic violent extremist. This started under Obama. Anybody who had served in the military, the Obama's FBI and DOJ automatically classified you as a potential domestic violent extremist. That's around the same time they started passing regulations that if you were a disabled veteran with PTSD, on the Veterans Administration form, you had to disclose if you had firearms at your home. It was recognized as the great gun grab by constitutional lawyers who supported the military veterans in this country. And the far left looked at it as a great opportunity to disarm veterans because, as we know, the far left hates veterans more than anything, and they have since the Vietnam era. So let's go ahead and watch this bad chicken and kind of get into this a little bit, learn a little bit more.
Stop the victim's vehicle and find the hidden drugs. Deputy Irizarry also is accused of lying on that arrest report. And today, Lee County deputies are actually still in Texas, where they arrested Scott Snyder, one of the men involved in that scheme. Take a listen.
Nobody is above the law. Nobody. And that includes our deputies. It saddens me that I'm here, but I promise, as I always have, transparency, trust, and doing the right thing.
The sheriff saying today that he has fired former Deputy Irizarry. Now, I was able to get that former deputy's personnel file, which is hundreds and hundreds of pages of information related to his employment here at the sheriff's office. I'm going to dig through some of that, and we'll bring you the most important part of that file. You can count on NBC2 to bring you that as soon as we read through it. For now, I'm reporting live in Lee County.
So that was pretty wild. I mean, as Chili DeCastro would say, it don't stop. I mean, these guys, it just keeps happening. And of course, you see the chief, oh, no one's above the law. Trust me, dude. The reason why he got that job is because he turned his head millions of times. And the only time that any of this stuff matters is when they get caught. The only time, give me a bunch of ones if you know that the only time they do anything is if they get caught. And that is why you should always, always, always film every interaction with the police. You should always, always, always have a webcam on your car, and not just a forward-facing webcam, but rear-facing as well. When you're out there, guys, you should be very careful. We know now that in some jurisdictions, cash-strapped police departments are starting to target the nicer, newer vehicles because they're recognizing that the poorer people are not paying their fines and they're disappearing, especially illegal aliens, because they have so many different surnames and different names that they use. They can't get them to show up in court. So now they're looking for the law-abiding citizens, the regular Joes who work 9 to 5, because they know for sure they'll show up in court and they'll pay their fine. And we know that, the municipalities, because of work from home and all that stuff, they're just not raising enough money in traffic fines. And it doesn't help when you have guys like Chili DeCastro out there filming them all the time. They're not able to hang out at their regular money generating locations without getting held accountable by the populace anymore. And so there's a lot of problems going on. And so now they're having to target more and more innocent people to try to keep meeting their bottom line as revenue collection agents, which I believe most of us correctly understand that most law enforcement agents today are basically just revenue generation agents. People say, oh yeah, but you'll call the police. Actually, if I could show you what I have next to me about 2 feet away, you'd understand that the only person that would need to be calling the police is the person who would even think that they have a chance of surviving if they break into my home and threaten me or my family. The only time that I would need the police is simply to come out and put up the caution tape and clear away the bodies. Now, I think that most of you should understand that we have a Bill of Rights and a Constitution, and we have the right to be left alone. And what's happening here is with these traffic regulations, we're not being left alone. We're being harassed. And as Chili DeCastro correctly points out, if somebody's got a problem with their plates or their registration, you know what? They can take a picture of their license plate and police can mail them a ticket. There's no reason to pull those people over and try to put them in torture cuffs and haul them off to the dungeon. It's ridiculous. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Let's go ahead and keep on watching what Claire has to say. Actually, we're not going to watch what Claire has to say. What we're going to do is we're going to understand that if you keep on going down this route, like in California, soon you're going to think that this is normal when the police walk up to you.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
And that's no joke. 999. That is no joke. I mean, that's reality. That's what's happening in real time, guys. In real time, we're seeing California in particular. We already saw it in Canada, the single party fascist state where you're not allowed to think differently than the government, than the politicians who are in power. And if you do, you're a potential domestic violent extremist and you must be silenced for hate speech if you don't agree with their science that they've created based upon their faith-based religion. And now, so let's see what else I got here. We've done the female cop thing. All right. So we got one more. So this dude, I love watching his videos, but I know a lot of my audience can't stand this guy. I guess because he's a liberal, but I'm a classical liberal. I believe in the Second Amendment and patriotism, kind of like how the Democrats used to back in the 80s. So I'm more of a classical liberal. Let's go.
Was an officer planting evidence.
Helping plant drugs in someone's car.
Officer Richard A. Pinheiro Jr. of the Baltimore Police Department recorded himself on his body camera planting drugs. The footage shows Pinheiro turning off his body cam audio and placing a bag of white capsules inside a can in an alley. He then walked back to the street, switched on his body camera, and announced he was going to search the alley. The video captures him returning to the alley and finding the bag he had just placed there.
I'm gonna check here. Hold on.
Guys, this is just like like the videos that we're seeing. Those are the guys they caught. I mean, this is so rampant. This is every police force. But the problem is in America, this should not be happening. The problem is that our youth have been brainwashed in the Leviathanic public school systems to hate their country. They don't even understand what the Bill of Rights is. They don't know what natural law is. They don't know that their rights come from a creator. Their rights are unalienable and they can't be taken away. They don't understand the concept of individual rights and freedom. They just believe whatever the government says and just go along with the program. We can do no wrong as long as it's done in the name of the state. As long as it's done in the name of the state, the government, the politician, the one who's cutting your paycheck, it's okay. You can do it. Why? Because all their bosses are doing it. And this is how their bosses got their promotions.
Yo. Hold up.
This led to the arrest of a man on drug dealing charges. However, once the video became public, the charges were dropped, and Pinheiro was suspended with pay. He was indicted by a grand jury on charges of tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, a misdemeanor. Pinheiro received a 3-year suspended prison sentence, 2 years of probation, and 300 hours of community service.
All right, hold on a minute, guys. 3 years. This guy, imagine how many people were locked up for like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years because of contrived, fabricated evidence created by this scumbag. Just imagine what they charge him with misdemeanors and he gets his hand slapped. Why? Because all these cops know where the bodies are buried. All these government employees know where the bodies are buried. They can take down everyone in the department. You'll always see they get these sweetheart deals. And typically they'll end up getting a job at a cushy job with some retired cop or like this Peter Strzok guy, the FBI guy who made up all the false allegations about Trump being a Russian spy. He ends up getting a job at CNN after the appellate justices wanted to bust him. They wanted to put him in jail for violating the non-disclosure agreement laws and violating the FISA warrant laws. And nothing ended up happening to him, of course, and he gets a job at CNN. So you'll see that these guys constantly violating people's rights on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, and they get a slap on the hand or they get a better job.
Other officers involved were placed on administrative duty. Just like this video, here's another video of cops planting drugs.
A little bit of weed.
We saw that
In
one.
this shocking incident, 2 officers stopped passenger Jason Serrano and a friend due to a broken taillight. As the officers approached and the driver rolled down the window, they claimed the car smelled like marijuana and ordered both occupants out of the vehicle.
The car smells like marijuana, so we're going to check it. All right? If there's nothing in the car, you'll be good to go. All right?
Serrano, who was recovering from abdominal surgery after being stabbed, lifted his shirt to show his wound to one of the officers.
I don't want to see that.
Once out of the car, the officers insisted on searching Serrano's jacket, and he refused.
Give me the jacket.
There's nothing in my jacket. I'm not getting searched for no reason.
The officers then became more aggressive, forcibly taking him to the ground and handcuffing.
Well, that was my point, Dan Glick. Lisa Page and Peter Strzok just got $2 million from the FBI. They probably sued the FBI for something or another, but they're clearly traitors. They violated American law, and they illegally got bullshit FISA warrants to do a bullshit investigation against Carter Page and the former president. And they spread this false allegation that this guy was like a Russian spy, which everybody knew was a lie if they'd done even basic research. But it's still to this day, people say that he was a Russian spy. And so it worked. It's just an example of how the FBI and the CIA have been completely politicized by since the Obama administration. I represent a couple of whistleblowers, and what I'm hearing is if you go into some of the FBI buildings, you're just going to see like little rainbow flags on all the desks, and the people hate Trump, and it's like going on to a college campus, like a woke college campus now. And they're saying that all started under the Obama administration. So a lot of people are terrified about what's going on. But let's get back into this, because just imagine a single party state controlling everything. And then remember reading the book Orwell, an Orwell book, or watching the movie Logan's Run, and then watch this video and you'll start understanding what I'm seeing in my mind's eye.
Cuffing him.
Come on, relax. Yo. Relax. Take him down. Take him down. Yo, relax.
Serrano remained on the ground, handcuffed and visibly in pain, for the rest of the traffic stop until an ambulance arrived to transport him to the hospital. The two officers, Kyle Erickson and Elmer Pastron, started searching the car and Serrano's jacket. Officer Erickson told Pastron that they needed to find evidence.
Yeah, we gotta find something.
Officer Erickson began by searching the passenger side of the car. When he found nothing, he murmured.
Okay, so here's something I want you guys to understand as a lawyer. So they knew that they had manhandled this guy and violated his rights already. So now, in order to justify the violation, they had to find something. And this is very, very common in California in particular. LA on the top of the list. They'll pull you out of the car, beat the shit out of you just because you looked at them the wrong way. And they'll immediately charge you with resisting, obstructing, delaying under Penal Code Section 148. It's standard operating procedure. And every cop knows it. The innocent guy that got charged with the 148, that's how it works, guys. They do it all the time. And this is just another example right here for you on body cam for all you people who are still in denial about the great Leviathan and natural law. Me being a natural law theorist, and the deep state, the administrative state, being the Leviathan that Locke, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Ben Franklin, and virtually all of our founding fathers warned us against right here for you in our own country. King George could never be prouder than what's happening right now.
An expletive. Erickson then returned to Pastron, went back to the passenger side, and searched through Serrano's jacket, the cup holder, and the central console. As they continued searching the car, the driver approached, and Erickson looked back at Pastron, visibly irritated.
Man, stand back.
Why? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I just thought you guys wanted to look at me some more.
After several minutes of searching, Erickson admitted again that he hadn't found anything. 15 seconds later, he returned to the front seat cup holder and placed something there.
We already saw this one anyway.
Erickson continued to search the center console, where he had already looked. A minute or so later, he sounded agitated again. Erickson.
Damn it! How am I supposed to get a collar on this guy when he's clean? I don't know, dude. Just throw some weed in there. I got this from my old lady last night. The head of the biker club's girlfriend. I've been banging her. She gave me some weed. Oh, okay, cool. I'll throw that in there.
Shook his head as he continued to search through Serrano's jacket, just out of the camera's view. A couple of minutes later, the two officers claimed to have found marijuana flakes in Serrano's jacket.
Yeah, no, he had weed. You could see his weed here.
At the end of the search, the officers fist bumped each other.
You good?
Good?
An ambulance finally arrived to take Serrano to the hospital. He spent the next 5 days handcuffed in a hospital room, waiting for his abdominal wound to heal. Serrano accepted a plea deal to avoid jail time and did not learn about the existence of the body cam footage until after he pleaded guilty. The video, unseen for nearly 2 years, highlights the limited information available to the public and defendants, supporting criticism that body cameras are ineffective if their evidence remains inaccessible. The NYPD declined to comment on this incident. Erickson and Pastran are still on patrol, but after a lawsuit, Erickson was suspended for 15 days. When you think you've seen it all, here's a female cop who planted evidence.
Left blinker.
Yeah, here we go.
I don't remember. Hello, sir. I'm Officer Oliver, Taos Police Department. Do you have your driver?
Everybody, the female cop who planted evidence. If you can't get me to 1,000 views for this, you guys are probably
License, registration, insurance.
This is the reason why you slowed me down.
Yes, sir. So you don't have any headlights on, and you're going really fast on Monroe Street.
Headlight, my headlights automatically on when I'm driving.
They're not on right now.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No problem. I don't really carry a wallet.
You don't carry a wallet at all? Where do you carry your money at?
Bank.
The bank. Okay. How do you pay for things? On your phone? Okay, I got you. No problem. I'll write down your information. You said Calvin Riley. I can take that. Perfect. Senior?
Good.
What's your date of birth, sir? Okay. Okay.
Calvin Riley is stopped by the Tallahassee Police Department on Southern Road. Officer Oliver introduces herself and later plants an evidence in Riley's car.
Sit tight for me, okay?
I mean, look, I apologize for the ridiculous AI plant and evidence in the car, but I'll try to like narrate for you like a lawyer. So this female cop clearly, you know, if this guy was to get out of the car and just even touch her, he could probably knock her out with his pinky. So physically, she has absolutely no business even be doing this. And she's planting drugs in people's cars to get arrests. I mean, just makes me sick to my stomach. Let's keep watching.
So I feel like I'm getting some indications, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't really smell anything.
1,025.
Do you think you can just talk to him? He's like,
we hit the 1,025 because they want to watch the female cop plant drugs.
Looking everywhere for his like ID, and he's like looking up here and pulling out papers and like looking around and everything. He says he doesn't carry a wallet. I said, how do you have money? There's the bank. And I said, okay, well, he's just not making a lot of sense. Yeah. He didn't have lights on. He's flying down Monroe Street. And when I went to pull him over, he like started to get over and then came back over and then like is kind of like hovering and then stopped. Okay. So if you'll just see if you can see anything. So he's got suspended. It's Calvin Riley. Yeah. So I'm going to ask him. That's why he doesn't have a driver's license, because he knows it's suspended. When you go up there, can you ask him if he still lives on? Thanks. Yeah, he said he's coming from Pockets and he had beers at Pockets. Oh, he didn't tell me that? I asked him that because he originally said the north side, and I said we're out on the north side, and he said Pockets. So he told me he was coming from Brevard Street.
Everybody, give me a shout out for BZ Watchdog. He just got his Shorts King award from YouTube. So everybody, give me a bunch of ones for BZ Watchdog. Shorts King Award 2024. BZ with his Hawaiian t-shirt, my main man, Marine Corps. All right, let's get back into it. Hey, thanks for the 1,000 views, guys. I'll start showing more videos of female cops planting drugs. I think I got this figured out.
Holy crap, it scared me. So he did say he had beers at Pockets. Yeah. Do you get any other indications?
I mean, his speech is slurred.
Yeah.
He's got the watery, bloodshot eyes, and I do have odor. Do you want me to do a signal or investigation?
Can I watch you?
Yep.
Okay. I promise the next one I'll do. Go ahead, sir. And he says it's suspended deal, and he knows it's suspended. Okay.
I'm totally gonna plant some drugs. Like he totally like has like bloodshot eyes and like last time like I broke a nail and like could you do it? Could you plant the drugs this time? Oh, totally. Maybe after like we could go to Starbucks or something and like I don't know, maybe the pool boy will be hanging out. We could go there, you know, hang out with the pool boy after. Oh, okay.
10-4, just want to verify because I had background. You said that there's a cease tag if it's an owner, and you also said that his driver's license is suspended, correct? 10-4, thank you, sir. Back confirming.
Well, like 10-4.
No, yeah.
10-15 for the suspended.
10-4, sir. Like if I wear lingerie, can I like do desk duty for a few days? Because like I totally broke my nail when I was planting that cocaine last time.
Because if we can suspension, that makes it.
Yeah, we can wait on that.
Let me just say that route. Refuses the SFDs
The suspension. Well, we still have to find him another way to go.
Yeah, we totally have to.
Calvin.
We still, you know, like we still have to find like another way to go. You know, like Marsha.
Okay, here, go ahead and step out of the vehicle for us. Just go ahead and fix the car for us. Your license is suspended.
Yeah, put him in the torture cuffs.
Arresting him for an alleged DUI.
Arresting him for being guilty of driving while black with bloodshot eyes.
Riley, whose license is suspended, is arrested for the first offense of driving with a suspended license.
And my license.
You knew your license was suspended?
No, I didn't.
That's all, you didn't have your ID on you.
See that? So you see what she's doing. She's trying to get a confession. You knew your license was not suspended. That's why you didn't have your ID on you. So the way they ask their questions is they ask them as statements, and that way they can, in their police report, allege that he responded affirmatively. And this is another part of their dastardly, disgusting, leviathanic, draconian training tactics, similar to when they're beating the shit out of someone who's unconscious in handcuffs and screaming at the top of their lungs, "Stop resisting," as the person they're beating on is already knocked out cold. And this is just another continuation of those disgusting tactics that are very common in some countries, at least countries that existed from the 1920s to 1945 in Austria and parts of Germany, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Hungary, etc., etc.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
And we see that they're bringing the same exact nonsense right here to our country, to our local police departments, and it's happening on a regular basis. And it's getting pretty out of control, if you ask me, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, hopefully this is the video we were watching. If not, you've got to bear with me as we get back to it.
First of all, my ID is at my job.
Officers ask him to perform voluntary field sobriety exercises without informing him of the consequences of refusal. After detaining Riley, they question him about marijuana.
Mr. Riley, I got a quick question for you.
No problem.
So I smelled marijuana in your vehicle. Did you recently smell?
No, let me tell you something, man.
Sit down, please.
That's the reason you stopped me? Or you
It's not the reason I stopped you. For your lights. Yes, sir, and
Okay.
you're speeding.
But you know, I was speeding.
Yes.
So I got a track on my shit.
Okay.
And you smell marijuana.
Just watch your foot, okay? Wow, he reeks of alcohol. Yeah. Is there enough, like, before that?
And you know what? He may very well reek of alcohol, guys. I mean, I'm not going to lie. And if there's a law against drinking and driving, and, you know, by virtue of the fact of him entering into a contract by getting a driver's license, he may very well have to be held to account for violating that law. But does he deserve to be falsely accused of having marijuana when he doesn't have marijuana? What do you guys think? Let's see what they think.
That's weird. It's got like gum and a napkin.
Once arrested, they search his car to find incriminating evidence that will justify his arrest.
Torture glove. Let out the torture glove. Okay, so guys, I gotta throw something out there. So Kurt Bronson just said it's just pot. It's like, no duh, bro. It's just weed, right? But in some states, it's like a big deal. Even in Nevada, when I used to be Rodney Dangerfield's driver, it was a felony. So, in order to get it into Nevada, you'd probably have to be a passenger in a limousine. Anyways, let's keep going.
It's got like a gold chain and a bag.
Oh man, he messing with her chain.
Thing. What is this?
He messing with his chain. Chain. That right there is worth some money. You should sue her for that.
Smell this.
Don't be messing with my chain.
It smells like alcohol. Yep. I think we're good on this. Yeah. Okay.
It's not my trade experience.
Okay.
Oh, like totally.
It's a hair clip under here.
Oh my gosh, that's oh my god.
Hey, there's vodka in his seat, like right here in a pouch in his seat.
I like the vodka in his seat.
Vodka was found in this pouch in his seat.
Now, several of the false arrest cases that I've worked on involve cases where someone's like on their way from Bevmo, bringing alcohol back to a party or something. And so what the officers will do is they'll grab one of the bottles and they'll break the seal, and then they'll charge them with open container, even though they're not under the influence. And that's a good collar for them. And, that should raise about $5,000 to $6,000 in fines and penalties, and not to mention whatever the lawyer would make. So it's pretty good business for the road pirates. Give me a bunch of ones if you see that the road pirates have plenty of business where they can make lots of money.
Huh? And you can just charge him with DWSR. If you wanted to finish searching, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, Rodney's the best.
Yeah.
Hey. I love them.
Do you need me?
Hey.
Do you need me like over there with you?
You like need me? Like totally.
Here.
Like I fully found like some alcohol, like vodka.
Officer Oliver leaves and returns to the car, breaks the seal
Boom,
on the liquor
there it
bottle,
is.
pours it out, and tosses the empty bottle into the passenger seat. No marijuana is found. She now claims the empty bottle is an evidence.
There you go. All right. So basically, you get the same effect as a marijuana charge, right? It's about the same fine. She gets a collar. The guy probably has priors already. He's rolling on a suspended. He probably is drinking. But she wants to make it worse for the guy. Now, what I didn't notice, and I'm going to try to share something with you based on my experience, knowledge, and skill as an attorney. It looks like it was an extended stop. And he would be able to argue the rising blood defense, which simply means that even if they were to give him a breathalyzer or give him blood back at the station, he could argue that at the time he was pulled over that he was actually sober, and the alcohol blood level hadn't risen yet. So officers that are reasonably trained, and these, you can tell these two girls are smart. They probably have 140, 160 IQs, super fast processing speeds. And somehow or another, they just ended up on the police force. God knows why. Maybe they're making a bunch of money, on a side gig. Maybe they've got an OnlyFans channel, but you can tell that they're not your typical dumbass cops. They're highly intelligent. They have extremely fast processing speeds, and they have a formula. These people have these two females have a formula that they have been taught by someone, and they're following a script that they're working from, and they're highly trained and they're seasoned and they know what they're doing. These are my observations. I welcome you to tell me what yours are, but this is just me from having over 20 years experience, first as a lawyer and another 10 or so as a paralegal. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I've always stayed in the civil rights appellate kind of injury realm. And I see this happening a lot.
You're a liar.
Do you want to call your lady?
You're a liar. I can't call nobody my handcuff.
I can put it in for you.
I can't call nobody my handcuff.
I can put it in for you.
I can't call nobody my handcuff.
Okay, if you don't let me know the number, then I'm not going to call her, and I'm going to call a tow truck for your vehicle. You don't even need to be wearing that badge. You're a liar. You say you smell marijuana. You're a liar. Are you listening?
I'm going to prove that.
I'm going to tow your
vehicle. And
vehicle.
they're going to fire you.
Okay?
They're going to fire you because you're a liar.
I'm going to call a tow truck for your vehicle. Okay?
I got to hand it to this dude. What a brave dude. He knows he's going to the clinker, and he knows that he was wronged. And I'll tell you something else, guys. There's a 99% chance that just a couple of years ago, that dude would be going down. And if he has priors, he could be looking at 10, 20 years. So all you guys who are like all pro cop and pro this and pro that, and you take sides, you need to stop doing that and start becoming critical thinkers. There are good people and bad people on all sides, but unfortunately, there are more bad than good in this world. I hate to tell you. And if you want to find good people, you can start by looking at my sidebar, and you can start by building parallel systems. You people should be doing business together. I would be willing to pay a premium to buy goods, services, products, not Amway crap, but like if you have your own company, you make natural toothpaste, I should be buying that from you. Non-fluoride, that kind of stuff, like Whole Foods type stuff that we don't have to buy from some communist BlackRock stock exchange garbage. Your own private company that you have. I have my own law firm. You have a problem, even if I can't help you, I'll try to help you find someone that I trust. So it's not just about making money. It's about helping people, and it's creating the boomerang effect of paying it forward. And we only do business with people we like and trust. We build parallel systems. Chili DeCastro has the idea of running for governor. That's another way to develop a system that's already in place and to save a system. But what I'm talking about is a parallel system where we don't shop at Target. We don't send our kids to the public school where they want to brainwash and sexualize our children and teach them to hate America, teach them to hate their classmates because they're white, because they're an oppressor or whatever. Somewhere where people are just treated like humans, not politicized or sexualized. A parallel system of just normal, honest people like we used to have back when I was growing up. At least we had them in much higher numbers than we have now. So that's all I'm trying to tell you is that I believe that we should all be trying to develop parallel systems and trying to help one another so this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Let's go ahead and keep watching this, and then this will be our last video of the day.
I hope you record this because you're a liar. You smell marijuana.
Go ahead and put this stuff in the bag. Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's right. You do what you gotta do. But guess what? You're messing with the wrong person. You're messing with the wrong person.
Back in my car.
Run a teletype and you mess with the wrong person.
Officer Oliver later informs a senior officer about finding open alcohol in the car.
Yeah. Got nothing on there? Well, okay, so he had a bunch of alcohol stashed in there. Yeah, right there.
Oh.
Yeah, in his turvis in the center console, he had a mix, the drink, and and then under his knee he had a like little bottle of vodka tucked away.
The officers check if their body cameras are off while discussing the case.
Any evidence of that?
The video ends, and Riley's arrest report states that a small opened vodka bottle was found in the driver's seat pocket. Riley was charged with DUI, but when the video became public, she was promptly fired from the department. During her deposition, she claimed she didn't remember anything that happened that night.
Was he cursing during this period of time?
I don't remember.
His left blinker was on, is that correct?
I don't remember.
Which was the registration for his car, correct?
I don't remember.
Because the car.
Okay, so they always have the I don't remember, I don't recall specifically, and they always have the qualified immunity. So that's the problem, guys. Even if you were to sue her, you're not going to get any money out of her. And even if you won and she didn't have qualified immunity, you'd still get nothing out of her. The cops don't make any money. I mean, you wouldn't get anything. Your money's coming from the department. Let's just keep watching what this scumbag piece of garbage has to say.
Or had automatic lights.
I don't remember if it had an auto setting.
It was a strong odor.
It wasn't strong, but I can remember smelling the
vehicle.
I don't remember if she searched the vehicle.
So you don't remember her searching on the passenger side while you searched on the driver's side?
No, I don't remember that.
You told Officer Ramuth that the bottle was open?
I don't remember my exact phrasing.
You can just show me where
Objection
it's
to improper
recording.
impeachment.
Do you not remember?
I don't remember the exact placement.
You told Officer Ramuth that the bottle was open?
I don't remember my exact phrasing. I don't remember what my thought process was behind the statement. I don't remember the conversation.
So you don't remember discussing indicators of impairment that you saw in Mr. Riley?
I don't remember discussing that, no.
Did Officer Muth or Sergeant Smith ever convey to you that their body-worn camera was on after you had turned yours off?
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
I don't
Have you
remember. I
previously
totally don't
testified
remember.
that the protocol is to dump out open containers?
I mean, hey, check this out. I mean, I just thought this was with like 90-year-old dementia patients like Joe Biden, but apparently anyone who works for the government develops dementia and Alzheimer's and a Valley Girl accent, I guess, just after a few years on the police force.
I don't remember.
This disturbing cases highlights the potential abuse of power and lack of accountability within law enforcement.
See, when you do stuff like that, then you add credence to all the verbiage and all the rhetoric about police officers being corrupt.
Oh, hell yeah. And he's right, man. I mean, this dude, and look, I know a lot of you guys in my audience don't like this guy. Oh, he's a radical lefty. He's this, he's that. But you know what, man? There's a lot of guys on the left that have a lot of good things to say, and a lot of guys on the right that have a lot of good things to say. It's time for you to start being a critical thinker and stop attacking people and taking sides based solely on someone's political beliefs. What a joke. That's just part of the conditioning and brainwashing in the public school systems, especially in the college campuses. You got to lose that, guys. We're going to lose this country if we can't come together like we did back when we were kids, when we had Thanksgiving and Christmas with our families. We might have had a Republican and a Democrat. We talk our politics, but we all loved our country. We all loved our flag, and we all supported the Second Amendment. We just had different ideas. Now you have completely, one party doesn't even wave the American flag. They wave these other flags and they burn American flags, you know? Like, we need to get back to that point where we all love our country. And because if you love your country, you're going to love each other. And so again, develop parallel systems and surround yourself with people who love their country and who love themselves, who love the Bill of Rights, and who understand the concept of natural law. Now, Immortal Ronin says, truth can come from the idiots as well as the geniuses. And you know what, Immortal Ronin, that is so true. And of course, you guys know that a Ronin is the leaderless samurai. And an immortal one would be what a terrible existence that would be, because you know that a samurai needs to have a shogun or a head samurai, a head sensei to follow, because a true warrior always is in service. But unfortunately, we don't see our police acting as samurai. We see our police acting as despots, more like the KGB or the Stasi. And, you know, it's crazy to me when I see these guys. And I used to be a big fan of Hogan's Heroes. When I see police nowadays, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're going to ask me this.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers? To the concentration camp with you.
To the concentration camp with you. Yeah. So you see that, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And you see the World Economic Forum coming out with their statements that there is no such thing as natural law. There are no such thing as human rights. Humans should be chipped. The only humans that should be allowed to live are like the ones over in China because they're good at following orders and they're obedient. But especially the Europeans and Americans, they've got to go because they have a rebellious spirit. And this is in their own books, the whole great replacement theory thing that they're doing. And it's just like, man, why isn't anybody paying attention to this? And the reason why, guys, is because people are not critical thinkers anymore. And so there are a few, and they're in my sidebar right here. And that's why you guys are here. That's why you guys are watching my show today. So Dan Glick and Jeff, Exoteric, Kinetic Customs, thanks, buddy. Yeah, Indemnify all the way. BK Hoop, and what's the matter, you, all you guys, thank you so much for showing up. And I know that B Coop doesn't like Trump, and I get it. A lot of people don't like Trump. A lot of people don't like Camel Toe. So we understand that. But, I don't think, hey, Willie B, thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button. But just to calm you all down, the president does not shape police policy in the states. The states have their own police departments, and the sheriffs have their own county sheriff's departments. And really, my idea ultimately of creating a parallel system would be one of homeschooling, homesteading, and a local sheriff that you've elected who believes in the same value systems that you do. You can create your own parallel system, just like the Amish did, just like the Mormons did and the Mennonites did. And you don't have to be a religious nut. You can just be someone who has a value system like an old school dude from like the 80s, just God bless America. All that good stuff. Leave me alone. I'll call you if I need anything. And in my case, if I'm in your neighborhood, you'll know it's in case of fire, break glass, because I'm going to be out scrambling, locked and loaded, ready to go, So those are the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. You don't need a police force when you can police yourselves. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and close it out. And I really like the Amish, by the way. I've hung out with the ones that are on the Ramspringa or whatever. 99% of them go back and they don't regret it. So it's just kind of like if you leave California for a couple of months, you're like, why the hell do I live in California? It's like, why would I do that to my kids? So yeah, Jeff Hates Pigs. Thanks for coming, buddy. And bunch of ones. I love all the ones. Thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I could kind of tell, I think most of my audience probably grew up in the 80s and 90s. And I sure wish that the younger crowd could have had an opportunity to experience what an amazing place America was. I mean, truly was the golden years of the United States. I mean, Democrats actually loved America too back then. They waved American flags. They didn't burn them. And they didn't have rainbow flags hanging up all over the schools. You didn't have like these college academics trying to get jobs as school teachers, trying to sexualize kindergartners and getting them on hormone blockers and all that. None of that stuff happened. People respected parents and their roles as parents. And now the government's trying to steal parents or children from parents through any various government agencies, whether it be the foster care system, CPS, or even through the police department by planting drugs in some woman's car who has kids. And now the CPS gets the kids, the cop gets a kickback. You following me? Parallel systems, guys. Get away from the corrupt systems. Get away from all those Luciferian people. Those people will do you harm. That is their job. That is why they're here. They are the principalities of power that your grandfather warned you about. So with that being said, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save. Make sure to support BZ Watchdog's channel as well as Brick Jonesy's channel. And make sure to donate money to BZ Watchdog to help him with his public records requests. And then, as always, make sure to support Chili DeCastro's Delete Laws channel. He's doing some fundraisers to help with Press with Rancor. I would really appreciate it if you guys would help with that. Chili getting locked up severely affected his ability to help him fund other people's matters that he was helping with. And then if you want to support my channel, well, like and subscribe, give me a super chat whenever you want to. But more than anything, buy my book about my journey to how I became a lawyer on the law study program with no undergrad and with no law degree. And you can get some tips and some motivational ideas on maybe a way you could do it in your state. But it's all there. It's if you go to my YouTube channel and you click on description and drop down, you'll see PayPal. Click on that, send me that, and I'll send you a digital copy right away. And wasn't mad at you. Yeah. Camel Toe is the vice president who is just appointed by the DNC without any kind of election to become the next president, the nominee. Camel Toe Harris. What's the matter, you? Yeah. Now, Sugar Hill says the right-wing government is trying to turn us into communist China. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that we have a uniparty system basically now. I think there are a couple of libertarian-minded people like maybe Rand Paul, but the rest of them are all, whether they're Republican or Democrat, they're owned by communist China and Arab oil money. And it's really scary. It's scary for the American people, for the regular people who grew up here, people who served in the military, who were invested in the Constitution, who wanted to make America a better place. For us, it's really sad to see what's happened so fast, so fast, at record speed. But anyways, if you want to support the channel, buy my book about my journey to becoming a lawyer with no law school or undergrad. And I will, they are all bought and paid for by the CCP, Immortal Ronin. That's right. So look, it was really great, man. We got over 1,000 views today. When I first started doing this, guys, I was getting like 5 or 6 views, and I didn't think anybody liked any of the shit that I was talking about. But I found out the more I just started being myself, all of a sudden I'm getting like all these people coming in, and I realized, you don't even have to have a script. Just talk about things that matter to you, and you're probably going to find that a lot of other people agree with you, but they're all just too scared to say it because of cancel culture. And I'm just one of these guys who has balls that are about the size of a house, and I just don't care. I'll find a way to survive, do or die, semper fi. That's how it works. So, but what I do care about is you, and I care about your families. I care about my veteran buddies, especially my Marine friends who are getting screwed right now. Luckily, a lot of my friends lost their jobs as critical skills operators in the Marine Corps because they refused to take that death sentence, that mRNA injection, that experimental drug, because Biden refused to give them a religious religious exemption. Well, they won their case. They just settled. So they're getting back pay and they're getting all that and a lot of money. But I'm just letting you guys know, fight. Don't ever surrender. Never, ever agree to do what the administrative state wants, no matter how much they threaten you. You fight them and you do what's right for you. My mother-in-law died of thrombosis 2 days after her booster shot. We have several other family members who are suffering major side effects from that experimental injection. Don't ever listen to these people. They are liars. And if you have friends or family members who are suffering from those side effects, especially young kids with these blood clots and all this stuff, call me. I want to know about it. I know we can't sue pharma because Reagan made them exempt, but if we can get an attorney general involved like Ken Paxton, he can get their immunity waived and we can go after these guys. In my opinion, these people are genocidal, what they've done to this country, what they did to us lying about this thing. And I want to go after these people. It destroyed my family. Losing your mother-in-law when your wife loves her mother so much, dying of a known side effect that they tried to hide for 50 years. They wanted to bury that information. Luckily, we were able to get public records requests to show all the side effects that they wanted to hide. Thrombosis was a main side effect that they didn't want to tell anybody about. So just keep in mind, if you're going to listen to the government and believe what they say, you clearly need help and you need to watch my show more. So with that being said, semper fi, do or die. I love it that everybody showed up today. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Thanks for joining me. I may or may not see you tomorrow night, guys, but I really appreciate you showing up. I hope you enjoyed the show. Buy my book, guys. It's a good book, and my wife will be happy and let me do this more because we're not making any money off of YouTube. I can promise you that.